In the frozen quiet of a European winter, a single message crossed the wire, and with it, the fate of Allied command trembled. What appeared to be a professional dispute was in truth a calculated move, a bid to reshape authority through pressure, not principle. It was, at its core, an attempted military coup masked as disagreement. Colonel James G., the British liaison officer at Chef, saw it instantly. Montgomery had gone too far. For months, he believed he held every advantage. What he failed to grasp was that he had just challenged Eisenhower's command itself. Eisenhower read the telegram once, then again, then a third time. He rose from his chair, walked to the window, and stared into the winter landscape. Witnesses said nearly 5 minutes passed in silence. When he turned back, the expression on his face was one his staff had never seen. He summoned his chief of staff, Lieutenant General Walter Bedell Smith. Smith arrived within minutes to find Eisenhower already writing. This was not another careful sidestep, not another diplomatic evasion. This was something else entirely. The draft was unflinching in its clarity. Eisenhower wrote that Montgomery's behavior had become intolerable, that the latest demand was wholly unacceptable. He stated he had submitted his resignation to Marshall and the combined chiefs of staff with a condition. They must choose between him and Montgomery. One of them would leave the European theater, and Eisenhower made clear he did not care which. The message ended with blunt exhaustion. He was tired of defending a man who believed his nationality placed him above others. Smith finished reading and looked up in disbelief. "You are truly going to send this?" Eisenhower met his eyes without wavering. "I have had enough, Bedell. If they want Monty to command this war, let them. But I will not continue under these conditions." Smith understood this was no outburst. Eisenhower had reached his limit. Every word was meant. Still, Smith was a master of staff work. He knew the anger was justified, but the message to Washington required precision. He persuaded Eisenhower to allow a parallel telegram to Marshall, one framed in terms Washington could act upon. Eisenhower agreed, but the ultimatum remained unchanged. Choose between us. The telegram that reached Marshall that evening was calm, professional, exact. Its meaning was unmistakable. Eisenhower outlined Montgomery's demand. After the war, American generals who served in Europe were nearly unanimous in their criticism of Montgomery. The resentment endured for decades. History's verdict has been divided. British historians often defended his skill while conceding his personal flaws. American scholars were less forgiving, portraying him as an egotist who damaged Allied unity and claimed credit unjustly. Modern analysts strike a balance. Montgomery was capable, at times brilliant, yet ill-suited to coalition warfare and unable to function as a subordinate. Eisenhower's reputation followed the opposite path. Once faulted for caution and politics, he is now seen as the ideal coalition commander. His talent for balancing national interests while maintaining strategic direction is considered a masterclass in leadership. December 30th, 1944 stands as the defining moment. It is when Eisenhower proved that true coalition leadership sometimes demands risking the coalition itself. General Matthew Ridgway, later commander in Korea, studied the episode closely. He wrote that Eisenhower's handling of Montgomery should be taught in every staff college. Diplomacy was tried first. Opportunities were given repeatedly. But when cooperation became impossible, Eisenhower acted. That, Ridgway said, was leadership. The lesson extends far beyond World War II. From Korea to the Gulf War, Afghanistan to Iraq, the same tension reappears. National sensitivities versus command authority. A multinational commander must balance both. Yet, as Eisenhower demonstrated, there comes a moment when authority must be asserted or it vanishes. A commander unable to say no to any subordinate, regardless of politics or nationality, is not truly in command. For Montgomery, December 30th ended any hope of supreme command. He believed experience entitled him to control. He believed British tradition conferred authority beyond organizational charts. He believed Americans would defer. On every count, he was wrong. The American response was absolute. Marshall's support never wavered. Roosevelt's backing was immediate. The Joint Chiefs stood firm. The message was unmistakable. The alliance was valued, but equality was non-negotiable. America would not accept subordination while providing most forces, supplies, and casualties. The partnership would be equal, or it would be nothing. For Britain, the moment was sobering. The nation that stood alone in 1940 was now the junior partner. Churchill understood this reality. His swift support for Eisenhower and restraint of Montgomery revealed what was truly at stake. Britain's future influence depended on American partnership. No appointment was worth risking it. The soldiers welcomed the decision. American troops had fought and died under temporary British command during the Bulge. They deserved respect, not spectacle. British soldiers were weary of politics. They wanted clarity, command, support. Eisenhower delivered all three. In the final reckoning, December 30th, 1944 marked a turning point. Britain's guiding role ended. American leadership became undeniable. Coalition warfare ceased being an experiment and became an established reality. It was the day Eisenhower stopped being a politician in uniform and became the commander required. The lesson endures. Coalition leadership is not about comfort. It is not endless compromise. It is structure, authority, and the courage to risk everything to preserve command. Montgomery learned too late. Eisenhower hoped he would never need to prove it. On December 30th, he did. And by doing so, he strengthened the alliance for the final drive into Germany. If this story of leadership, courage, and command has stayed with you, subscribe, support the channel, and share this history forward, because understanding moments like this helps us recognize true leadership when it matters most.